talking about how women empowerment starts with the self, and how but women need to be given platforms, need to be given the tools to be able to thrive, because we already occupy positions. We are already in leadership, even though we are not appointed. Even in the home, we are already hold everything down. So you were still talking, and I had asked you a question around which systems, who's responsible, from a church point of view, from a society point of view, government point of view, who is responsible for empowering the woman and giving her the tools?
Okay. I started by saying, you empower yourself first. Only then can you look at dealing with all the obstacles. And when you look back, women, much as they were this force, they were actually stopped from exercising that inner power. Women belong in the kitchen, for instance. You find, okay, let me make an example with me. I chose to be a stay-at-home mom. And because it was a choice, it was very conscious. I left my profession and stayed at home. But everybody who encountered me would readily be very condescending, where someone would say, let's say in a church setting, okay, the church is dirty. Those women who are doing nothing should come and clean the church. And for people, it looks like you can't make a choice that's not general. You can't make a unique choice and be you for as long as you do not fit in a mold. There's something wrong with you. And I knew what I was doing, because I feel very strongly about child rearing. And then, of course, generally, even in families, the first question will be, when are you going to work? Don't let yourself go. I'll take my child to the clinic. I'm asked, what's wrong? No, my child has an earache. Oh, your child can talk. And I'll be, yes, at 4 months, she can talk. But all I'm saying is, you choose you. But because you is different, there's something wrong with you. All of us are empowered because we have the 9 to 5. We are empowered. We are in boardrooms.
Yeah, so that's the mistake. That's the mistake that people always make.
Yes. And yet, this woman, I choose me. I choose what I love, and I do it very, excellently. But because it's not what you do, there's something wrong with it. And women are the number one culprits of disempowering one another.
Oh, that hurts.
It hurts because instead of, I must be, right now you've started a movement. I must be the first one to cheer you on. But I'll be like, she's my competition, even if I don't say it. And you need me, I need you.
Yeah.
I come with all this history where I've been, wherever I have stayed, the people I've encountered, all the jobs I've been through and everything. And I can tell you a thing or two. But in your youth, you empower me in the way that you do. When it comes to 4IR, sorry, I'm not there yet. But I can depend on you. Kamo, how do we do this? How do we do that? So I I respect the Bible when it says older women must teach the younger ones how to love their husbands. One of the ways of loving your husband is not letting him get away with murder.
Wow.
That's how you love him. Otherwise, what happened to Ananias and Sapphira will happen to us. But we idolize these people. It's like we tread on eggshells. We are powerful, but when they come next to us, we tread on eggshells. We can't say no. We are too careful. We're killing them. We're killing them. We are in their lives for a reason.
I want us. You are touching on so many things, and
Yeah.
I want us before we get into the relationship space, because that's something that I've been wanting to ask you about. But I want us to focus more on women and women cheering each other on, because it is my deepest desire, and it is my wish for this movement to be supported, especially by women. I mean, it is a movement for women by women. So
Yes.
how do we bridge the gap? What do I do, and what do other women have to do for us to see that we need each other and we can only be as great as we are together? How do we get rid of this thing that exists where we fight each other as women and we are the opposition and the enemy?
You know, mentorship. If I have people under my arm, I mean, we can't go wrong. I have you under my arm, and I tell you about yourself when you step out of what you're supposed to be doing. And I have so many people that I'm guiding. And then the phenomenon of paying forward.
Yeah.
Where I help you, and you know you're going to help another, just like that. It's like a domino effect. In that way, this cycle will never be broken.
Yeah.
Because you know, it's the truth that there's no other me and there's no other you. Can you imagine when we are together, what we can do?
I can.
So if we recognize that you have your abilities, I have mine, and we join hands transgenerationally, then we are a force that nobody can come against. I'm for the idea of, consortiums. Right now you've started a movement. I must so be behind you with my children. You also, you support somebody else just like that, just like that. Let's share information. That's how big companies stood the test of time. It's all these people with different abilities
that join together.
Join together, so we complement one another, because it can never be a one-man show. There is nobody who is self-made. Pardon me?
I'm agreeing with you absolutely.
Yeah, exactly. So if the meaning is coming together, I always watch when I go to places like the plaza. You go, you want so many meters of material, and it's short. This person is going to go to his brother 3 shops down. You will never live with your money.
Yeah.
Yes.
They understand that very well.
They understand the concept. But, we don't know how to do it. Kamo, I'm a good cook. Yesterday I said, I should open cooking classes. Because when there's a wedding, I don't buy. The pudding is me. Cake is me. Ginger is me. Curry is me. But who am I imparting to? There are people with good organizational skills in the boardroom at home. Who do we impart to? So that's where I am. Sharing, and mentorship. Yeah.
I like that. I like that. And I would love for us to talk about it after this call. We can talk about that cooking class, that cooking workshop. And
yes, you know,
that's something that will be very nice, just to have conversation while we are cooking and talking.
True. Because I can't die with all this. I was raised by my mom, my grandmother, and my grandmother's mother. All of them imparted something. So I shouldn't be selfish. Yeah.
Transgenerational. I hear you on that one, and I'm in full agreement with you. I don't want us to dwell on this one. I want us to move to our next point of discussion, which is around self-love. And you and I have had this conversation before around the phrase "do you." You know, do you, be you. So I want you to talk. I want you to talk to me about. I mean, you are a married woman. You've been married for over 40 years. So how do I, as a woman, stay myself? How do I still stay an individual and still retain my personality in a relationship and in a marriage?
Okay. Be true to self. You know, a person is a complex being, but be true to self. When we talk emotional intelligence, you know that in a conversation, as soon as this conversation goes a certain direction, you know exactly how it's going to affect you, and you remove yourself. That's emotional intelligence. You don't grit your teeth and stay in an unconducive environment, just like in a place where you are not wanted. Acknowledge that there's only one you in this world. I've already alluded to that. If you aspire to be a photocopy of me, then you have robbed the world of the necessary you. You are here for a reason. Absolutely. So even in marriage, we grow individually. We add something into this union, we grow individually. The mistake we make is we allow other people, particularly our partners, to redefine us. In no time, you has been lost.
Yeah.
When we talk compatibility in a relationship, we're not talking about being the same. Because if you are both the same, one of you is very unnecessary. So what we do is recognize that we are different, but we complement each other. Without the other is not okay. So you find you are different, but your team, you get the best out of each other. When I counsel, I find that very few couples have goals, short term or long term. And let's agree, you steer a ship, you don't have a map, you're going to get lost.
Absolutely.
You are definitely going to get lost. So in the conversation, goals must be there. For instance, families differ. Maybe Kamo, your family is about traveling. Nothing wrong. Mine is about education. Nothing wrong. Other people love a house. You know? So you find you shortchange. When you love education, you'll downsize on something. There's nothing wrong. It's what you have chosen. That's your thing. That's an attribute about your family. What we have to accept is you can't have everything.
Yeah,
Life
and
is
we are
a
always trying to
yes.
accommodate, to acquire everything.
You want to be like everybody. You're going to run out. You know, I remember I stayed in a flat for 7 years. People were laughing at me. I wish they could have asked me. The school that my children were attending didn't allow me to have a house at the same time. So I chose education, downsized on the housing, and as time went on, I was able to buy a house.
Priorities.
Priorities. So what I'm trying to say is stay in your lane.
Yeah.
You've got priorities as a family. Try to work around that. Don't let anybody sway you. There's a time when someone was telling me, yo, you stay here. I used to stay in Dubai. Everything is going to town. Everybody is moving to town. It wasn't my time. And to tell the truth, town was town. I wasn't moved. And it so happened we left the country and came back. The only reason that made me come and stay where I am is the distance to the children's school. I had to calculate. I wasn't about to put my kids in a kumbi, 1 hour on the highway, and then they reach school. I stayed practically across their school. That was intentional.
Intentional.
It was intentional. But when people don't understand, they say all sorts of things. And I find the younger women shame men. They, they change their aspirations because of what people say.
That is so true. Like, you've said so many things. But like what is what I can take out, and Tepi is agreeing. The crux of it is that stay in your lane, be content and focused on your goals. You can't be looking at your goals and looking at what other people are doing and chopping and changing what other families and what other couples are doing, because you don't even understand why they are doing what they are doing.
You don't understand. You don't understand. I remember there was a year when my husband worked for a company and there was a company car. People went and bought the car. I'm like, I only pay for petrol. Do you get it? You can't use somebody else's script. You've got your own script. Stay with your script if you want to be happy.
Right? And realize that there's absolutely nothing wrong with your own script.
No, nothing wrong. And like fingers, we are not equal. As soon as you accept that, you live much better. But some people never accept that they are not like so and so.
Yeah, and I guess that's where the problems begin, because you will never even know when to stop the comparison. You will compare houses, you will compare goals, you will compare looks, you will compare everything instead of just like staying in your lane and doing you.
Yeah, you end up not knowing, not remembering how you were originally. So you are surprised, why am I not content? Because you are a stew. You are everybody.
Eish, you are a stew.
Yeah.
Scaba stew.
You know?
Mm.
Yeah. It's just
True.
like that. So people,
No, I
let's
hear
stay
it.
in a space. Hmm?
I hear it. I hear you, Mama. I hear you because, you know, and I want to labor the point in you
Yes.
saying, and I recognize that it's a mistake that many of us make, that we define ourselves by taking everything else that we see outside and create a stew, say, and we want this stew to be our identity. We want this
Yes.
stew to be us, instead of just looking in and writing the script and then staying in our lane.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. And you find that less is good.
Yeah.
Because it's you.
Yeah.
It's you. You built this. You cooked this. You'll eat it.
And you know what spices are in it.
Exactly. And you know where you're going. At any time, you can account for it. Because
Yeah,
it's
you know,
yours.
Mama, ne? You know, so you know, you know the saying, yeah, simplicity is best. Simple,
Yeah.
the less the less less is more. I learned
Yes.
that the hard way, to
Yes.
say less is more.
Yeah.
But Hakuma mates, I'm like, life is so simple. We are the
Very.
ones that complicate our own lives.
Yes. Yes. You know, and I remember when my kids were growing up, they used to ask, but why are people buying Christmas clothing? Because I didn't. Rather, I would invest in next year's books and uniforms. And because I knew my imperfections, allow me to say that.
Yes.
I have 5 kids. Their school fees was nie pap and vlees. What I used to do, I would go and volunteer at their school in the uniform center so that I can choose the second-hand ones that looked new. So by working there, I choose the best for myself. I would come with a garbage bag full of uniforms. 5 of them, my kids, 5. I would come with that bag, wash, press, and everything. So there was a running joke in the family when the last 2 were the only ones at school, and I went and bought them brand new blazers. Yo, it was the top of the month. Oh wow, what is that? It was a joke, but it was a joke. It was tasteful because they realized that, oh, okay, we're moving on here. You
Progress.
know? Progress. Yes. But those are the things that when you teach your children, they run with them and they'll never be, you know, moved. Because it's what they see every day, and being in their lane, even as a mother, you don't teach them the negative competitiveness.
Yeah.
They are content, just like you, the parent, is content.
Yeah, you see now, that's where the problem comes when you are a photocopy and you are a stew of everybody else's ingredients. You will obviously be passing it on to your children, and you will be passing it on to, you know, and creating confusion in the family and in the home.
Yes, exactly. And we, you know, it's little things that we miss on. Little things. Little things. I had a motto when I was still bringing my children up. No child of mine was going to own a cell phone that's more expensive than mine. I'm the one waiting.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Because we tend to be overboard.
It's a principle that we work for things.
Yeah.
Yes. You don't just snap a finger and then you get. No, 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 no. And you learn to wait your turn.
Yeah. Sure. Principle.
Yeah.
I hope everyone else that is watching is also hearing. And we literally are running out of time.
Yes.
I just want to read a few comments, and then maybe we can summarize our conversation. But a lot of people are hearing what you're saying. Tepi saying you must have your own script and you can't be living other people's stories. Everyone is resonating with you about their own script. I don't see louder, mama. Stay in your lane. Very powerful. Yeah. I also agree with Tuminki. That was a powerful one, and I hope it didn't go past people's heads about being intentional. There's a power in being intentional. And I also said in the topic for today, the one thing that people ought to know is that self-love is intentional. Doing you is intentional. Sticking to your lane is intentional. Deciding on what your goals and your principles are, that is intentional. Nothing happens by magic.
Yes. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Uspe is saying she's gained a lot tonight. I want us to summarize, Ma. I want us to summarize so that you can throw some more pearls at us. We still have a few minutes. There are no questions. We are just absorbing what you're saying because it's a lot to take in. We need to go sit down and and meditate on it. But I want you, before we close this call, what is your message, especially to young women? You've lived a healthy life. You've lived a long life. You've lived a few more decades than I have. So you've experienced different things, from technological things. You are a married woman. You're a counselor. You obviously speak to a lot of women. What sort of advice can you give us? What can we leave with tonight that we should hold on to for the rest of our lives? Wisdom of the old being passed on to the young.
Accept yourself. That's number one.
Okay.
Set boundaries and stick to them. Why? Because we teach people how to treat us. And people will always go as far as you allow them. And you can't change what you tolerate. People go on about for peace sake. You tolerate something for peace sake for 20 years. You are surprised why you are so bitter. Be sure what you want, communicate it, and bring the other person in. Let them know where you're going to, where you're coming from. If they don't want, they don't want. And you can't always be, apologizing and no. There's nothing wrong with you. I always tell, how much time do we have? There's a principle I want to throw to you.
Please go ahead, Mama. We still have a couple of minutes.
All right. Many people come and say, Mama, my husband is cheating. I tried everything. I lost weight. I changed my hairstyle. I'm being a woman in the house. Wara, 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 wara. Okay. My question is, why are you doing that? No, it's because maybe I have let myself go. My answer is, you didn't cheat. He cheated. Why is it you who's making the moves? He cheated. Number two, why do you go through his phone? That's a job, man. No, you will cheat if he wants to cheat. What you are sure of is you will not be disrespected like that. Now, they come and cry saying he is dating. If you can see the girl that he is dating, okay, you know, a cleaner, a security, a what, and I'm by no means classifying people. I'm stating what happens.
The comparisons that happen.
Why are you crying? Because he has disrespected me by dating such people. After a conversation, she's now aware that where you actually found this man, because you know, when you love a person, you work, you want to see them thriving. Maybe they go to school and whatever. Ne? The thing is, compatibility is about what I just, it's not affluence.
Okay.
It's not how affluent are we, how rich we are, but it's about what we believe in. It's a belief system. It's we want this, both of us. So I say to them, most probably, okay, what are the kinds of things that make you fight? No, he says, since I passed this course, I think I'm better. Since I bring more money, I think I'm better. Now we start talking. The problem is he went and dated that woman because had you not happened, he would still be there.
Yeah.
Think about it. He would still be there. And because when actually it's your person. Yes, he's going, he's a CEO. Okay, let's push. But that one, who is the best thing that happened to me?
True.
Because they elevate them and you find they love the attention. So when I that he has downsized, he's dating somebody else that how come on? No, it's his world. He came into your life, you did life, like all right, la thola di diploma and everything, but in actual fact, there where you found him is where he belongs. Do you understand me? And I'm not saying
I understand you
in a condescending manner. I'm just saying, as a principle, you are intentional about doing something. You count the cost. I took my husband to school.
Yeah.
I don't know how many people said to me, you are going to regret because he's going to leave you. I would say to them, don't you think I studied this man before I did that? Because he had been faithful in little things.
True.
Yes. He went to school. He came back. He took me to higher education after he finished. Now we are on par.
Wow.
Yes.
No, wisdom.
As a family, as a team. But women have given themselves to, building this man, and there's nothing wrong. Building the men, building, until they are extinct. Let's work together.
Let's work together.
Nothing wrong. Yeah.
True. No, we've run out of time, and this one, Ibatla, a special, I think, for those that, for specific ones, those that are married, those that are intending to marry, so that we can debunk. There's a lot of pearls you've just dropped on us right now. Whew. And I could listen to Mama Claudine the whole day. I could listen to you the whole week. But yeah, and this live session is going to be saved. We can go back to it. We can refer back to it. So before the live cuts off, I want to say, Mama, thank you for the wisdom. Thank you for being the woman that you are. Thank you for being consistent. You've been consistent. I've known you well over 17 years, and you've been very consistent. So, I thank God for you. I thank thank you for this opportunity to take your time in the evening to share wisdom with us. And everyone is agreeing with me. I can see the comments, powerful clap heads. Tepi saying we need an event. Tepi, we will organize. You know me and events.
Yes, we need an event. And I want to apologize for the glitches.
No, technology.
Technology, hey.
Technology always does that. But we managed. Ma, thank you so much. And thank you to everyone. Thank you. Thank you for your patience. Thank you, Ma. Good night.
Night.
Thank you everyone for joining. Thank you for your patience. Thank you for staying on call. Thank you for supporting the movement. This movement can only move forward when we club together, when we bring our skills, when we move it together. There's no one man show. No one can do it on their own. The live session will be saved. You can always go back to it to learn about self-love, doing you, being intentional, and doing the amazing things. Please follow us. We are on Instagram, Redefining Beauty SA. We are on Facebook, Redefining Beauty Movement. My name is Kamo Magabane. I'm here every Wednesday, 7 p.m. Look out for my guest. I've got an exciting guest next week, and she's a musician. Thank you and good night.